So, how does one become homeless? For a lot of different people, it's a lot of different ways that they can become homeless, so I can only speak for my particular circumstance. When I became homeless, for the first time, I was in a city called St. George, Utah. And I had been chosen to work a summer temporary job through a job that I had applied to. And it was for housekeeping at a very, very fancy resort. It was up in the upper side of the Grand Canyon, and it was very, very difficult. It was a very rustic property. The only way to get hospitalization help was to be airlifted out. They gave you dorms. There was like a bus you could ride to go into town. So technically I was living in the Grand Canyon, but when I quit that job because it was too difficult, the resort had this thing where they would drop you off, so at the nearest city. So I had them drop me off, and that city was St. George, Utah. So I had like one paycheck like in the bank, which was very tiny, and then I had one that was on the way. I was able, with what I had in my bank, to get a hotel room for about a week and a half, I think. So at this time I had gone no contact with my family. That's a whole nother story. But so I was kind of just there in Utah, and I've always been a little bit wild, so like I was just like, whatever, we're gonna wing it, and we're gonna make it work. So this is what I did. I rented a hotel room. I applied for jobs in St. George, and I put an ad on Craigslist, because back then, Craigslist was like still kicking. This was like 2013. So I was able to, in this ad that I placed on Craigslist, I was able to go ahead and find a dude that was willing to like let me live with him, and I would eventually pay him rent once I got back on my feet. That ended up not happening, because while I was at this hotel in St. George, Utah, I met this dude. We will call him Dale. So I met Dale at this hotel. I was a raging alcoholic at the time. Dale was also a raging alcoholic at the time. So it was a match made in heaven, of course. And so Dale was like, F that guy from Craigslist. Why don't you come be with me? I paint and I travel all across the United States. So come with me. You'll be my girlfriend. I'll be your boyfriend, and I'll take care of you. So I was like, okay, that sounds fine. We'll go do that. So I go with Dale to Dallas, Texas. He's supposed to have a job there. Whatever. Again, both raging alcoholics. So we get to Dallas, and at first we're put up in like a little pay by the week hotel situation. So in that situation, he the jobs just aren't coming. I don't know what's going on. I'm freaking out. He's freaking out. It was a really, really bad situation. So for me, my first introduction to homelessness was that just I quit a job, and my family support, community support, I didn't really have a community, was just lacking. You know what I mean? I didn't plan. Again, reference, I'm a bit wild. So I went off with this dude, and that was the start of it in Dallas. So like I said, in Dallas, it was becoming clearer and clearer that I made the wrong decision. I did not know that I would end up staying with this dude for years and years after the fact, but that is what happened. So we're in Dallas, and he continues to drink on the job. So I'm just so mentally ill at that point, just so traumatically impacted, I guess would be a good word to use, that I was unable to work. I tried really hard to get work there, and I was not successful every time. It was not successful.